Hey, Trish. You're here early.
I'm always early. I try to be anyway. What happened?
No, here.
I can hear you, but I can't see you. I don't know what happened here. Hold on. There you are.
Hang on, am I muted?
Yeah.
No. Oh, no.
Now I see you. Hi, Ellen. How are you? Are you there? Hi, Peter.
Howdy.
How's it going?
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
I don't not have any sound.
Peter, it feels like I just saw
Let's see
you.
here. Why do I not hear anybody?
I got beef stew for dinner.
I'm not muted, right?
Right here. Everybody.
My audio turned off. Speaker view, gallery view,
I can hear you, Peter.
reactions, participants.
It's recording. Does that make a difference?
No.
Unmute. Okay.
Can you hear us, Peter?
Who else is here? No.
Chris, you can hear, right?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can.
I'm going to
come
leave
I can't
and
hear
come
you?
back in because I got no audio. So leave meeting.
Add a full screen. Because you're
Stay.
mute here.
Trish, you can hear me, right?
I can hear you.
Okay. So it's possible that if they can't hear people, then their output or speaker through Zoom may not be pointing to the right thing.
I got it.
There you go.
Figure it out, John.
Yeah, I was my speakers were turned off.
Hey, Ernie.
Okay.
Peter, you bouncing again?
Well, you know, and I might do that. For some reason, my machine doesn't like Zoom, and it will kick me off of the internet. If it happens twice, I'll bring my laptop on.
Pete, what does your shirt say?
It says Photoshop Virtual Summit.
So I guess you did some sort of virtual thing with Photoshop?
Yes, it was fabulous.
Cool.
It was supposed to be really expensive, put on by Dave Cross, and he gave us access to the whole thing. Truthfully, I'm pretty good at Photoshop, way over my head.
Really?
Way over.
Yeah,
Oh,
you are pretty good at Photoshop.
Oh, yeah, this was way too complicated, but I enjoyed it anyway.
So you had a good time anyway.
I had a good time, and I felt bad because it was, you know, I don't know, $200, $300, $400 thing that he was giving away. I bought the T-shirt for $25. I felt like I should do something.
Right.
So
Hey, Robert, what's up?
How you doing, guys? Good evening, everybody.
Hey, Robert.
LJ, is that you in the dark?
Yeah. I'm on
I
a
barely
couch.
see you there.
I got a couch this time.
Somebody else is in the dark too. Who is that? Oh, there's
Yeah.
Ken. Looks like
Yeah.
Tammy.
Holly.
There's Holly, I think. Hello. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
Okay, who we missing?
Right.
There's Tammy.
Is that popcorn you're eating?
What?
I was asking John, is that popcorn he's eating?
No, it's a fajita.
Cool. All right, all right. So, well, there's some more people. All right. Yay.
Waiting on Jack.
We still don't have Jack. He's a
Yeah,
judge.
we're not Jack.
We're not there yet. It's almost time. Not yet.
Jack's a little slow.
Well, everybody's early too.
Yeah, it's not 7:30 yet.
Not 7:30
Yeah,
yet.
it's not, yeah.
That's why I'm still eating.
You're allowed.
I mean, I went here and just opened up and Trish was already there.
So, John, let me ask you this.
Lurking like some sort of stalker.
Are you low on the screen because you're using a laptop and your camera is all the way down at the bottom? Is that why
We're
you're
sitting in a love seat.
Just the screen was tilted backwards.
There you go.
We're sitting
Look,
close
now,
together.
look, now what a beautiful couple. That's so
Yeah,
nice.
Aw.
Oh, I see.
And LJ, you have the same
We're
problem?
social
Are you,
distancing.
are you in a love seat? Too? There you go. I like it.
Close
Rick, I
your
don't see
blind,
your
LJ.
face.
LJ, close your blind.
Even the cat's making a cameo behind Peter.
I see Dick's name is up there.
Walking
but I
on
don't
top
see
of
his
my
Oh,
name.
Dick's there.
laptop.
Dick, how you
The
doing,
cat
bud?
just ordered something for you, Peter.
He's not on yet.
I'm going to close my laptop before
The
she
Right
video's not on.
Who's that right there? No, he won't. He didn't.
This is like a portal into the lives of us club members.
Yeah.
Here, I'll close my blinds too. Since you yelled at LJ.
Well, I can see Dick Boone's name, but I can't hear him
Yeah,
or
me
see him.
too. Me too. His
He's
microphone's
muted.
off
He has his
too.
microphone muted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he just now muted it. So
Oh, he might be mad at us.
All right.
doorbell. Who's that?
Hey, Jack.
There he is.
Somebody else.
Hi, Jack.
It's Jack and Jack.
Jack Inception.
You look as handsome as ever, Peter.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Hey,
It's nice of you to say so. Hey, Steve.
how's everybody? All good.
Hey, Steve. Jack. There's Holly. There's
Hi, Steve.
oh shoot, there's everybody.
Hi.
No, we're still missing.
I'm here.
We're missing.
Ken,
There's somebody.
he's, I guess, trying to get on. I don't know. He went to the bedroom.
Eric.
Hey, Ernie.
Here's Eric. Hi, Eric.
Hey, guys.
There's Eric.
Hey, John. Susie.
Hi.
Eric,
Can
you
I
got your
talk
laptop
to
on the
Dick? Is the only
floor.
one still having trouble getting on?
You're bleeding on the top of your hand.
By the way, Robert, you're in charge.
I'm in charge? Oh, shoot. Okay. Gotcha. I thought Peter was in charge tonight.
I'm not in charge of anything.
Yeah, the supreme leader's in charge, right?
All right. All right.
Yes.
What time do we have here?
Feel like Trish in the backyard.
I know. I got to get that done, man. I want to be outside too.
Well, you have to have a good mosquito repellent, I can tell you that, because somebody's alive. I have a couple of these things called thermocells that kind of have, they heat up. They have this little like fuel cell in it. It heats up, and so it has this little repellent that goes out. Only for about 15, 20 feet, but it's enough to keep me in my little non-eaten
That'll work.
bubble.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I really
Enjoy
like
it,
to live
Trish,
in the
'cause
backyard.
it's supposed to get nasty for like the next week.
Well, so when we're supposed to get some rain, well, tonight I heard, but we'll see.
We got rain last night after the meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, we definitely did. We
The
definitely did.
wind picked up, the rain came.
Yep.
Of course, your backyard looks better than our backyard. Your backyard has green. Ours just has rocks.
Oh, well, 20 years ago when we built this house, there was one big tree in the corner and lots of sunshine, and we xeriscaped everything. And in the last but we planted a number of trees. In the last couple of years, all my xeriscape was doing really poorly because it wasn't getting any sun. So last year we dug a whole bunch of the yard up and replanted full shade. And we love it now. This is our little happy place.
Grass and everything.
Okay, for you guys that did not know the controversy for it happened last night, it went on until judging went on till like 10:30, 11 o'clock.
It
It wasn't that late.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
10:30, I know
10:30.
that.
Yeah, it was like 10:30.
It was
10:30 when I
close.
shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Thereabouts.
Apparently there were problems with the upload page. And it turns out to be, Ken, your Gmail account.
Really? What can you tell me? Because I don't know what I've got.
I
set.
just figured it out because your Gmail account and Tammy's Gmail account don't work.
Okay.
Well, I had pictures, but now I don't even have that.
You said you got one on the Ken Ramsey one, right?
Yeah, on my on that new Yahoo account I set up.
On the Yahoo account. Well, Peter and I sent pictures back and forth to each other all morning this morning. We got
Y'all don't
emails,
use
we got all
Gmail.
kinds of stuff.
There we go.
So I have no idea what the problem was.
Don't feel bad. I'm confused now because I don't have any spam filters kicked in.
Because I changed it back. I sent one to Ken Ramsey, then I changed it back to TKR, and I sent another one. So you should have got two, but you said you only got one.
I didn't get any. The only one I got was from last night on my Yahoo account.
Well,
I
I-
looked at that today.
I sent you one this morning,
Hello?
a picture of me. Did you get that one?
Nada.
I used the,
So let me look. I have not been. I didn't notice it, but let me look for Weebly. So hang tight.
okay.
Ken, I did not send you a selfie of myself. You're welcome.
I was like, hey,
Mine
who's
was a
that?
test.
So I don't know if anybody noticed Jack, but he just got up from his chair, turned around, and walked into himself into the background and disappeared.
Yeah, that's awesome. There you go.
He's a
Okay.
magician. Isn't he?
But,
Nothing in TKR.
No, Ken, there is.
What do you see? Because the only Weebly I see is the one that John sent.
Yeah.
No, there's one.
Weebly,
There's one
that's-
this morning. It says no reply. At 10.
There is?
Yeah, on my phone there is.
From me?
And Jack's
It
back.
doesn't say who it's from in the thing.
It's not on the webpage.
John.
Look.
It says it's from John.
Okay, but it's not on the webpage.
Okay, it's in my phone on our.
Oh, wait. Okay, wait. I've switched back to my account. Hang on. I'm sorry. Let me check TKR.
What are they talking about?
Whether they got something or not.
But these.
Nothing.
Who is it? The doctor?
You sent a picture called Dirty Dozen this morning, John.
He's trying to talk to his doctor.
I'm sorry, my doctor's on the phone talking in my ears. I can't hear nothing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
I just hung up on him. What's the question?
But it's not in the Gmail. It's your
It's in the Gmail on TKR on my phone, yes.
Or is your phone somehow stuck email?
But you didn't get it on the computer.
No, I didn't.
I didn't set the phone up. You did.
I've slept since then.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't suck things off because we can look at it.
It doesn't matter. We'll take care of it after this meeting.
Yeah, just set
All we
it up
know
for-
is that it works. You just got to figure out why it's not going to y'all.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Set it
all
up for the Yahoo
got
account
Ken-
right now.
Ken got them all loaded. They all got judged. So go for it.
Okay.
Start
All
whatever you
right.
wanna do.
Good evening,
hang on a
everybody.
sec. I got to do something first.
Uh-oh. Are we waiting for anybody else?
Your screen.
It's 7:35.
All right, let's get
Okay.
this thing started. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the virtual online Zoom meeting of the Camera Club. Hope everybody's doing well and hope everybody's faring well. So obviously tonight's competition night, so we are going to get this started. We had voting last night for the competition. It was myself, Trish, and
Jack.
Jack as judges.
You forget already?
Remember,
That's why he has a picture of himself.
Sorry, guys.
Thanks,
So,
everybody, for
does anybody
judging.
have any questions before we keep going? Going once, going twice. So let's get this thing started, man, because we stayed on late last night.
Okay, sweetheart.
Yes.
You're not the sweetheart I'm talking to.
What?
That I can't have the picture list and the pictures up at the same time.
I can tell what they are.
There you go.
All right, Tammy.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
Okay, so there we go, sweetheart.
All right. So this is garden art.
All right, let's set up. Jack,
This
Trish,
pictorial?
you go first.
Is this
Pardon?
pictorial?
Yes,
We're gonna-
pictorial.
This is pictorial.
Are we telling how many points or place or anything like that, or
Afterwards.
after? So
I
we
was
just
waiting
want
on
to-
y'all to tell your stuff.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Well, all right. So comments from me is my first reaction was I just really love this. This is really, really cool. It's got complementary colors. It's composed well. It's kind of artistic. It's sharp. I think it's pretty cool. I really do like this one. So who's the maker here?
Holly Emery, 19.
Nice.
I think that, can I just make a quick comment about that?
Oh, sure. Sorry, Trish.
I really love that you just kind of have these two
You know what I do? I
really
think
great colors, so it really pops. But I think that completely smooth background I think it just really makes this pop. I think that really shallow depth of field really sells this, and I just think it's really great.
Very nice.
Taxidermist Workshop.
Who's up?
You want to take this?
Sure, I can. Yeah, okay. I find that the positioning of the photographer in this image is really interesting. It sort of exaggerates the animal on the right, but I do like the lines in the ceiling that kind of draw your eye. I wish that the main subjects of the image were where my eyes were drawn. I feel like my eyes get drawn past them. I think the subject matter could be really, really interesting. It's nicely exposed, given the lighting conditions. I just wish I was able to really land my eyes somewhere specifically. And I think that may have more to do with the lines in this image from the ceiling lead me back to this guy in the back corner, and I really don't think he's the focal point of the image. But I think it's exposed pretty well for the conditions, and that's what I have to say. Any other thoughts?
I was looking at the nose on there. It looks like this was taken with a close-up with a wide angle lens. Distorted nose. Is that distorted?
I don't know. Who's the maker?
Jack Smith, 17.
Jack, was this taken with a wide angle?
Yes, it was probably my 24 to 70 at probably 24.
Yeah.
And that is the taxidermist back there in the middle. He's working, well, pretending to work on another animal in the back. And I shot this one for the Lotus news people.
Oh,
great.
To highlight the taxidermist. you all know how much I love animals, so it's kind of a little freaky for me to do something like this.
Well,
But
yeah, I was
I
going to
just-
ask you actually, Jack, how comfortable you felt doing that.
yeah,
given how you,
it's not something I would have chose to do on my own, but I thought it was pretty cool to go and meet him, and I thought this was an interesting view with the two animals up front here.
Wow.
Yeah, I think you prefer live animals, don't you, Jack?
I would prefer the live ones, but you know,
yeah, me too.
it has to be done sometimes.
All right.
The window.
The window. Okay. Don't know if this is a sunrise or sundown or sunfall, but I love the way the photographer framed the image with the mountains in the foreground, and you have enough detail to see the various peaks and, well, I don't want to call them valleys, but the rolling hills. Yeah. Pardon?
Ridges.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the ridges that just, go over and over all the way into the background. And then you've got the beautiful, skyline with the clouds. Definitely has a lot of space on top, but I would not even crop it. I think it's perfect just the way it is at the 2/3 point. Very nicely handled. Who's the maker?
Ken Emery, 18.
Was this sunrise?
Sunset.
It has to be sunset.
Oh, got it. Cool.
Any of you know how to tell just looking at the image whether it's sunrise or sunset? I can't generally tell.
You just have to know the window.
The area, then you know it's sunset.
Yeah, I guess so.
The window in Big Bend, that's a sunset.
The window faces west.
Okay, that makes sense.
Ah. Okay.
Barking up the wrong tree.
Okay, it's my turn again.
Yes, sir.
Well, this was really well done. Got the reflection of the dog, and the action is just wonderful. And of course, the environment there with the cypress tree and the water. It's nicely composed, exposed well. It's excellent. Who's the maker?
Peter Florsack, 3rd place.
Yeah, I really love this image. The only thing I wish I knew was what that dog was after.
You and me both.
Yeah. Okay.
It was a grab
story
shot.
in
Hear
this
all this,
picture.
they can't hear me.
No story.
Yeah. I mean, this photograph tells a story.
I know
and
I'm
I
there.
want to know more. Yeah, it's terrific.
Yeah, this is Camera Club meeting.
Okay. This one is Underwater Beauty. This looks like it was taken in a fish tank with some fluorescent lighting, which is why you kind of get that weird cast to it, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe somebody was actually underwater for this. I find this image really interesting. I love the details, particularly in the front of the image. I think the little antenna thing are odd for me because of the lighting, I think, but I don't think there's anything you could do with that. I think the colors are fabulous. Nicely done. Who's the maker?
Susie Kane, honorable mention.
Susie, I'm assuming you did not go scuba diving for that, right?
No, it was at the Ocean Center in Maui, Hawaii.
Nice.
Peruvian lilies.
Peruvian lily. Okay. Sometimes they say not to center an image, but in this case, I disagree. I like the way it's centered. I'm not, okay, it might be my glasses, but I can't see if it's tack sharp. I see the leaves tack sharp, the greenery. I love the bouquet in the background, the way it's handled. Overall, these colors really complement each other, down to the vase, to the clay. I don't know, I don't think that's a pot, but whatever it's called. Nicely handled, and the fencing does not bother me. Usually I'd be having a little fit about it, but it's nicely handled. Who is the maker?
Steve Manchester, 2nd place.
Yeah.
Very nice.
What was the score?
22.
Okay, thank you.
I think that light that comes in from the back and sort of outlines the outer edges of the blooms is really lovely.
Thank you. It was coming
Satellite.
from the kind of the upper left on the other side of the big bushes that are right behind it there.
Yeah, really nice.
Handled well.
Thank you.
Yucca Valley.
Okay, seems to be nicely composed, but there's not a lot of color or pop to this image. It does show a unique environment, of course, and it does well with the vertical because you've got the hills or the mountains in the background there with the yucca in the foreground and also in the middle, and then the rolling hills between. I just would like to see it something a little more striking, but otherwise it's a very good environmental shot. Who's the maker?
Hang on, I lost my place. Tim Kirkland, 18.
I think if Tim had just gotten down on his knees, you know, kind of lower, so you get a little more perspective on that, I just think that would have changed the look of this image. I agree with Jack. It doesn't really pop, but I think if you kind of got where those yucca were truly kind of front and center in a bigger way, I think it would have had a little more impact.
Easy for you to say to get down on your knees.
What was that, Susie?
What if there was a cactus down there?
Yeah, it could be. There was a cactus down there, yeah. And
Well,
sometimes
that's why you have a mirrorless camera with an articulating screen.
challenge.
I've done that before. I put my knee down and kneel down and put a cactus needle into my leg.
Oh,
I've done that too.
Luscious Strawberries.
Oh, I'm getting these nicely centered images, huh?
okay. Are you taking that one, Robert, or am I?
Oh, I'm sorry, that was you.
No, it's okay. I don't care. Whatever.
No, by all means.
Okay. I really like the simplicity of this image, and I really like the detail in the front of that strawberry. I wish the back edges of those leaves stood out a little more. You know, were a little crisper, but I think it's inviting. I love the dark background. It really makes that berry pop. And I like actually the little bit of reflection that you get off of the surface there. Who's the maker?
Myself, 19.
Very cool. How did you, what lighting did you use for this?
Don't remember.
Robert, we had a Godox 60 off camera shooting right, off camera right, about tabletop level.
Okay.
It was on a table
Yeah.
stand.
And we used all different kinds of things to try to get them to shine.
Oh, yeah.
Polish and all kinds of stuff. They were not edible when we were done with them.
So you like rub baby oil or something all over them?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, they use baby oil. We use glycerin.
Yeah, glycerin.
I was gonna say food stylists use all kinds of stuff that we would never touch to make the food look good.
Yeah. Very nice. Inventive. I like.
Still muted.
Sorry?
I didn't hear.
I think I finally broke through.
Oh, is that Dick?
This is Boone.
Hey.
I can't get my stupid camera to work, but I think I finally got vocal part.
Oh, great.
Yes, we can hear you now.
How you doing, Dick?
Oh, I'm getting by one day at a time, in and out of the hospital and all that stupid nonsense because of the chemotherapy. So I'll be done with it by the end of July.
Well, I hope it comes quickly.
Yes, you're in our thoughts for sure.
Appreciate
And
it.
prayers.
Glad you're here, Dick.
Good to see all of you.
Nice to see you. Well, wait, nice to hear you.
Yeah.
Ah,
Here you did.
that was Holly. She said hi.
Tiger Lily.
Oh, hi.
No.
Oh, see the names up there.
All right, Tiger Lily. Beautiful coloring as far as I'm concerned, with the turquoise in the background. You've got your, what do you call it?
Stamens.
The thirds, rule
Yeah,
of thirds
pistil.
there, man. It's nicely composed. It flows. You can literally almost cut that photo diagonally, and it's well balanced, in other words. Love the, what is it, like a nectar coming down off of the tip there? That is, and it catches the light. Very well handled. Who's the maker?
John Kane 20.
Very nice.
Very nice, Sean.
No.
I got on a moment.
Oh, what you got?
I don't know what the store was, but I got a place.
Okay.
Ah.
Somebody asked a question. I can't hear. Oh, okay.
Siberian Prince.
Okay, all the judges, I don't think they mind me saying this, but I think we were already, all three of us really struck how nice this image is. I don't know, I can't find much fault in this at all. And one discussion we were having about it is how the face looks kind of pale, and I said I like that because it really draws your focus to the eyes, and of course that beard. I mean, they really stand out, and the hat that's being worn it's got some texture in it, but it's got enough little contrast to get you right there to the eyes. It doesn't make you want to go up and look too much at the hat. Composed well, and I was wondering if the photographer maybe softened the face to make it look that way and to help the image. So anyway, we all loved it. Who's the maker?
Alan Skiles, 25, first place.
Way to go, Alan.
It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, the post processing I went with it was tried to go on the cool, soft side a little bit, because the Siberian Prince, a frozen tundra, being the winter and the cold. So that was the post processing feel I was trying to give.
Nicely done.
We talked about that a little bit last night, Alan, is that we felt like because of that paleness and the smoothness and that really soft white background, this feels cold, this photograph. We felt like it felt cold, which is great. And I think that you hit it right on the mark.
Thank you.
And to think that this was one of the images that was lost.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. I'm really glad that it was recovered because it's absolutely fabulous. And I don't know if you did anything with that beard, Alan, but I think that's the other thing too. The eyes you're drawn to the eyes, but that beard tells a story too. And every little detail is there. And I just think it's great.
Yeah, there's actually no white in his beard at all. Post processing was to bring that out to make him feel older, and plus, since it's in a frozen tundra, that it would be cold.
I'm glad you said that because when I looked at his beard last night, I saw the white. We were talking about that smooth complexion, and I was saying, gee, I want that complexion. It's like he's baby faced. And then I saw that white in the beard, and I thought, okay, there's probably some processing that has done that to the face, but I'm glad that you said the beard also, because I wondered, given that he looks so young, that he had all that. But it's really great.
So this is a real testament to editing software, in my opinion.
Yeah.
How you can really enhance an image.
Yeah, I agree.
And at the end, I actually have a before and after JPEG, kind of shows the two, and I can show that at the end if anybody wants to see it.
That would be great.
Yeah, I'd love to. That'd be great.
Cranes at Sunset.
Okay. I really like the silhouettes of the cranes in this photograph. I wish that I had a little more detail. That background is so dark. There are other birds back there, and I wish those came out a little bit. I wish I saw a little more variance in shades of gray. But overall, I love the reflections in the water. You get some detail in that water up front. And I think the silhouettes are very striking. Who's the maker on this?
Holly Emery, 19.
Yeah, very nice.
I
I
really
don't know
like
my
it,
birds that well, but do their nostrils go through their beak?
Yes.
I find that interesting that that piece is brought out.
Yeah.
These are sandhill cranes, and this is obviously taken at Bosque del Apache.
Oh,
I don't know.
this is cool. I really.
In processing, I brought the birds in the background out a little bit. They were completely in the dark.
Oh, were they?
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad I can see them at all because it really kind of adds some depth to the photograph.
And I love the detail of the grass coming through the water,
Mhm.
above the water. Oh, it's
Was
beautiful.
this at sunset too, Holly?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's why you end up with that
In
real.
that image, there's golds and blues in the water.
I figured as much since the birds in the front were in silhouette and you have so much bright on the water and that rest is dark. I figured, okay, that's got to be at sunset. Yeah, yeah,
Nicely handled. I love it.
yeah, me too.
Tetons, bison, and barn.
Wow. What can you say? I mean, the detail in this image is amazing, from the grasslands to the texture on the roof, on the wood material of the building, to the bison. I mean, and back into the mountains. I mean, those clouds just make it happen. The image is really well handled. I tend to geared more to a little bit of a darker look, as far as black and white. But as far as the image goes, it's a gorgeous image. Who's the maker?
Jack Smith, first place.
Yeah, that's terrific.
Hey, Jack.
Thank you.
Nice
That
job.
bison, by the way, was very, very dark. So, Robert, that's why the whole image is not any darker than it is. I wanted you to actually know that's a bison there.
Gotcha. All right. Good capture, man. I mean,
That's very nice.
it's like he's just randomly put down that spot. It's like beautiful, man. I mean, it's like, wow, the image is grand. Look at this great view. And then it's like, whoa, there's a bison there, Well done.
What I call Smith luck. Maybe Peter was standing next to me. Maybe he got a better shot than I did. I don't know.
I doubt it, Jack.
There's a conspiracy here. I think Peter was at the end of the photo egging on that bison to come out a little bit further,
Rocking chairs.
Okay, I absolutely love this one. When I first saw it, I thought, okay, this is one of the better monochrome images here. And you got the diagonal, and you've got them all lined up there, and you got the windows, and it's well composed, well placed, great exposure, good contrast. I love it. Who's the maker?
Peter Florsack, 22, third place.
Yeah, that's really terrific. I love all the lines in that image. There's lines on the floors, there's lines on the windows, there's lines on those chairs, the angle of the chairs. Yeah, the lines are fabulous in this.
Nice, yes.
Mm.
I was going to say the same thing.
Smile.
This one's for me, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I really love the subject matter of this, and I like the story that this image tells. I don't know if it's just my computer, and I looked at this again really close last night. I don't know if it's just me, but it's really soft on this image on the bottom of this stingray. And so I'm having a little bit of trouble with that because it's just not crisp all the way around. But I love the story this tells. I think the exposure's real good considering that light comes through the water. That's not real easy to work with. And I love the story this tells. Who's the maker on this?
Susie Kane, 18.
Nice job, Susie.
Bridge of Hearts.
Bridge of Heart, man. Yes. Oh, I thought somebody said something. Love the lines, the bridge, the stones, the support, everything. I mean, you've got enough little detail under the bridge to even see the I don't know what they're called, trusses.
Yeah.
You know, I love the detail on the stone that keeps the bridge up. The blown out sky was a little bit of an issue for me, but I think it was just the weather, you know, whether this is what you got, and he handled it as best as he could, and I think he did a very good job with it. Very nicely done. The composition is amazing. I mean, it comes from the top, comes to the bottom, and then you've got your peak over here. Well handled, well framed, well done. Maker.
Steve Manchester, 20.
Very nice.
Ruins.
Hey, I think the exposure is really well done here. The composition is pretty nice. I have no clue where this, I mean, it could be just almost anywhere, I guess. You've got some interesting sky with the streaky clouds. Good contrast. Wish I knew where it was. Maybe the maker will tell me.
Tim Kirkland, 19.
Guess not. He's here.
Well, it would have been better with less blowout on the rocks.
What was that, Ernie?
I said it would have been much better with less blowout.
Oh, blowout, yeah.
Yeah,
On the stone.
blown
Yeah,
out too
on the-
much
on the
face
stone.
of the
Yeah.
rocks. You still see some detail, but
Hear me meow.
I think this is such a fun photograph. I love that my eyes go straight to the teeth on that cat and the whiskers. The whiskers really pop. I wish that the ears were less soft. You see that there's a lot of softness. The depth of field is a little shallow. I wish more of the cat was, you know, finely in focus. But I think that the fact that these whiskers and those teeth really stand out, it just tells the story, and I really enjoyed this image. Who's the maker?
Myself, and I got 20.
Hey.
Hey, Tammy, could I make a comment here?
Sure.
My first reaction is because I'm a person that likes to see a little bit more depth with my animals and things, but then it occurred to me, as I've been watching a lot of professionals show their images, sometimes they're not what maybe I would do myself. So it doesn't therefore mean it's a bad image. I think this is a wonderful image, and it doesn't have to be more depth. It could be. It wouldn't necessarily make it a whole lot better, but I think you've got the teeth there, which is the main emphasis, and the nose, and like Trish said, the whiskers. So the rest of it can be soft, and the composition is wonderful, and you caught it at just the right moment too. Wow, I love it. So good job.
Thank you. That's Charlie.
Hi, Charlie.
The youngest.
Drying boot.
Okay. I really enjoyed this image because I love all the texture in it. The texture is really terrific. It's just this simple thing. And, you know, when you see something like this, it doesn't necessarily, I never would have thought that a boot against this piece of, you know, wood or fence or whatever it is would tell a story, but it does. It's telling a story to me, and I love all the texture. There's that vignetting on the left side particularly, and I think it just sort of adds a sense of age and time to this photograph. I think the exposure is terrific. I really enjoyed it. Who's the maker?
Alan Skiles, 21, honorable mention.
Yeah, really nice. You're up, Robert.
Oh, okay, I was waiting for the title. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, sand dunes.
It's okay. It's okay. Sand dune. I'm really glad I got this photo. This one really struck at me last night. the sense of scale with the people in the foreground, and again, layer after layer, and the shadows that's created because of the layers of the sand, the dunes. And you've got just a smidgen of clouds in the top. It gives me a sense of place. I can feel the sand under my feet, so to speak. And the way the sand dunes, the way it's composed, again, diagonally, as if they're like they're shifting around. It almost gives me a sense of motion. One of my favorite pictures. Really well done. Who's the maker?
John Kane, 23, second place.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we all
Shut up,
love
John.
that one.
We all love that one, John. Good
Yeah,
job.
That is Sand Dune National Park.
Where is that again?
That's Sand Dune National Park in Colorado.
Where in Colorado is that, John?
It's southern.
It's just south of Colorado Springs.
Okay, okay.
And it was
Just-
cold.
You don't see it from Route 25 though, as you're going south there, do you?
Yeah, yeah, we all talked about this image quite a bit last night. I think every one of us really loved it.
Galaxy 15.
After the rain, snack.
Okay. Squirrel got drenched, I guess. But they don't want to stop, not be eaten.
Oh.
I'd like to see a little bit more in front of the nose. I'm not sure if it's as sharp as I would like to see it, but it's an interesting pose. I love watching these squirrels. They don't listen to me though when I tell them, no, be careful about crossing the road. That's the only problem with them. Anyway, who's the maker?
Myself, 18.
Was that in your backyard?
It was actually through the front door of my dad's house. They have a bench on their front porch, and the squirrel came up and was eating a pecan.
Oh, he's got good taste then.
Did you crop this image, Tammy?
Yes.
I probably would have left a little more open space on the right-hand side of this image. It just feels very tight on that side.
Yeah.
I would have given a little more negative space there, right in front of the squirrel's face.
I'm not sure if there was space. It might have been that the door was there.
Gotcha. Yes. Yeah, we don't always get to choose where the animals are at, right?
Right. And there was a car at the top of the image. There was a car across the street, so we cropped that out.
I see. Okay.
Rainbow waterfall.
Okay. All right, this is an interesting image. I love that there's movement in the water for the waterfalls, and that you get this nice little rainbow. And the greenery there, I like that there's a little bit of curve to the water there. I might have personally liked a little more sense of scale in this, maybe a little more of what was around it, but I don't know what else there was. I don't know if there was a lot more mountain above it or not. I personally like a little more scale, but I think it's nicely exposed. Like I said, the waterfall's handled well. You get that sense of motion. Who's the maker on this?
Susie Kane, 18.
And
Okay,
that's the
Susie,
only,
where was this?
you can stand there all day, and that's the only shot you're going to get. Because
Oh,
there's
really?
nothing else to see.
Where was it, Susie?
In Kauai.
Oh, wow.
It's the waterfall they used for the Fantasy Island.
Fantasy Island, yeah.
The opening.
Oh,
scene.
really? Interesting.
Lovely.
And you have to go at a certain time of day to get the rainbow. We went in the morning and there's no rainbow. It's like 4:00 in the afternoon.
Oh.
To get to the place where they actually shot it, you have to be down river level. And
Yeah.
you can't get there anymore.
Huh.
Why not?
They don't let you?
Private land.
It's private land now.
Oh, okay. Okay.
broad-tailed hummingbirds showing off.
Nicely done. I love the vertical shot. I see the focus is on the hummingbird that's on the branch. Again, it's handled well. There's enough negative space in front of the top hummingbird just to give you a sense of flight, which is obviously flying. I don't know, is that beak touching that second hummingbird? I can't tell, but I'm not a bird expert. It's handled well. I would have probably have liked that second hummingbird in focus as well, but this probably was the intent of the photographer. Can you tell me who the maker was?
Ken Emery, 21, third place.
Wow. Is the beak touching the second bird or it's just overlapping?
They're just overlapping. The top one was irritating the bottom one.
Okay. I love that you captured that.
Mm-hmm.
Nicely done.
Kenneth did.
Okay. That is cool. Love it. One more thing. The fact that there's green in the plumage of the bird, it's not distracting from the green background. I mean, I love it. I mean, it works cool. Sorry, I'll keep quiet now.
No, you're allowed.
All right. Very nice.
4.
Yes.
Eve Ho.
Okay. Guessing this was macro, and I love the how the colors go well together. And wow, to capture this kind of action, the way they have done this is amazing. For me, I struggle with macro and always trying to get it a little sharper than sharper, and I can't seem to get there. And so when I first see this, I go like, well, I can see how that one ant looks mostly sharp, but I would like to see it a little bit better. But it's one of these things, it's like the action and what you're capturing here, the subject matter, is very, very important and really unusual. And so that's what makes this really, really stand out. So who's the maker, and tell me all about this.
Sorry, Tim Kirkland.
Oh, not again.
20, honorable mention.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Jack. It is a little soft. You can see the focus to me, and the ant on the right-hand side, maybe towards the midsection is the focus. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of fall off on this thing, But just the fact to get an image like this is fantastic,
Yes.
Very nice.
Shake it off.
I enjoy this image. For me, the selling point in this image is that bear coming off the water. You see the action there. You see, all these drops of water. You don't lose anything in it at all. I wish the bird were a little more in focus. The bird is soft, but the bird isn't the point. I don't know if the bird could be removed. I don't know if that's remotely even possible. I think it's too tightly cropped probably if that happens. But I really like the action caught in the bear in this image. I think it's fabulous. And I think the exposure is handled well. I see every bit of movement, and I can tell you what's going on in the way that bear's body is moving just by the way that water is moving. And I just think that's terrific. And I see all the details in the hair and the snout, and I just think that's really great. Who's the maker?
Peter Florsack, 19.
Yeah, it's really great.
West Yellowstone.
What is?
Wolf and Bear Center, or whatever it is there.
It's nicely handled. The only thing that bothers me is the chromatic aberration around the bird, like a purple fringing kind of. Particularly, I'm looking at its legs. But this is awesome. Nice capture.
I would imagine you were quite some ways away, Peter. Yeah.
was away from it. I liked the bird being out of focus. Was just the kind of thing I was going for, to kind of focus you on
the bear.
Yeah, don't bring your eye straight to the bear. That's
But you know, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't work.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and everybody's kind of got their, you know, what they prefer, you know.
Well, you try different things.
Yeah, yeah.
And those ravens are always in the way, aren't they, Peter?
Always there. They're always there.
I just love you can see, you know, almost every little drop individually. I just think that's great.
Elegant J.
Oh, that's me, right?
Si, senor.
All right, okay. Elegant J. Beautiful plumage. I love the detail in it, where its wings are at. And he's a tad wet. He must have been bathing or cleaning himself. You could see his feathers all ruffled up on his head and his the breast area. Nice bouquet in the background and nice complementary colors. Again, I believe it's stone, that beige looking stuff, and in the background greenery again separates this photo almost diagonally on a vertical scale. Nicely handled. Who is the maker?
Steve Manchester, 20.
Yeah, nice job.
Love the catch light in the eye.
Mm-hmm.
It's there.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
Back,
Pardon?
did you shoot this in your backyard?
Yes.
What are you putting out to attract visitors?
Pardon me?
What are you feeding them to attract them?
Well, no, it's the water. It's the water that attracts them.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. So he was in a. We have a little man-made water feature back there, and the birds love it.
Oh.
Chuckalaka.
Well, this is much sharper than some of those other images like the ants and so on, and I like that, of course, the animals, and the focus, of course, mostly is that eye and that face, beak, but it's pretty nicely done. It might be cropped a little tight, but you know, it's not bad. The problem I'm thinking about is like if you're framing it with if you're trying to mat it or something, I'm gonna probably cut off a little bit of that tail and put that beak pretty close to that's the only thing. We should just given it a little bit more room, but otherwise it's a really excellent shot. Who's the maker?
Holly Emery, 21, second place.
Yeah, it's terrific.
Good job, Holly.
Thank you.
Yeah, really nice.
Searching for clams.
I really, really enjoyed this photograph. I think for me, seeing every little hair on each of those bears is terrific. I love that everything else kind of has a softness to it. It really makes them pop, and having that really sort of simple background. And you know how we were talking about that photo of Alan's earlier, that sense of cold. I feel cold when I look at this picture, and I don't know if it was cold or not, but that background makes it feel cold, and I just think it's fabulous. The detail is terrific. I love that we have an odd number here, so it's visually really appealing. I just think it's terrific from top to bottom. Who's the maker?
None other than Jack Smith, 26, first place.
That's fabulous, Jack.
Yeah, Jack.
No, it's not cold. That's summertime.
Outstanding.
Summertime?
Yeah, that's Lake Clark, and I believe it was. I'm gonna guess the 1st of July somewhere.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's not, you know, the little foam or whatever it is that's reflecting in the water that you're seeing a lot. Maybe because to me it looks like little bits of ice or whatever, and that background is just so cool, you know, clear and stark. Yeah, I look at that picture and I feel cold. I just think it's great.
I think some of it too is the reflection of the blue sky and the water. That blueness kind of helps with giving you some of that cold feel.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's great.
Yeah, and I cropped it kind of a panoramic kind of shot too. I thought that it looked better that way.
Yeah, nice job, Jack.
And you see Mama does have a clam in her mouth.
Yeah, she's getting the job done.
And one of the cubs has his nose in the mud and the other one has got his eyes peeled.
Mhm. It pops. Looks good.
Thanks.
Yeah, we're doing our competition.
Just a singing.
All right. This is me, right?
Yeah.
All right. Composition wise, I like it with the negative space, with his beak pointing up to that upper corner. To me, the bird is obviously moving because I see blur in the beak and it's a little soft. The feet look sharp, but as far as the complementary colors, once again, with the background being blown out and it's green, it stands out. The thing that bothers me is the blur. Maker?
John Kane, 17.
And the reason it's blurry is because it's called Just a Singing, and the bird is singing in the rain.
Ah, and he's moving around.
He's moving around. His beak is going up and down as he warbles.
Oh.
That's why
Very
it's blurry.
Gotcha.
He looks like a Carolina wren. Where did you take this, John?
I took it in my backyard,
Yeah, it probably is a Carolina
and
wren.
it was pouring down rain.
Nicely done there.
And I had called it Singing in the Rain,
I like that title too.
but you can't see the rain, which is what I was hoping to get.
I see. Okay.
What are you looking at?
We back to me again?
Yeah.
Okay. Love these animals. I don't know. Looks like a zoo picture to me. So maybe it was at the zoo. It's composed well enough, and the eyes of the animal, cheetah is looking at us. Basically, there's a little shade over his eyes. One of his ears is formed backwards to hear from another direction. And if you do wildlife or animal photography, you're always looking for those kinds of things. And I would prefer that both ears be looking this way, but sometimes you just take what you can get. And so it's a pretty nice image. I just wish there was some green behind it, or I don't know, it almost looks sepia or something. Maybe that's the look the photographer's going for here. Who's the maker?
Alan Skiles, 19.
All right, tell us about that.
So it's at San Antonio Zoo. So you're right about the zoo. And that's the only shot I could get where he was actually looking my direction.
Yeah, that's pretty common.
Cool.
And the post
Yeah, they're not
processing
very
is
good at
kind of a
modeling, are they?
brownish, kind of sinister kind of tone.
It's got a nice face.
Bringing in the Hall.
I enjoy this photograph quite a bit. I think the sky is interesting. I think that the boat tells a story. I probably would have liked a little more negative space on the right hand side of this, and maybe a little, pardon me, it's cropped a little tight on those antennas or whatever. But I think the colors on this boat, that little bit of dark blue and that rust in the net really kind of pop out. You see all those fish there, so it really does tell a story. And I just find this interesting. Who's the photographer?
Jack Smith, 23, first place.
Yeah, it's nicely exposed too, Jack. It's really terrific.
Hey, Jack, are those like little waterfalls on the land in the background?
Yes. That's in Prince William Sound, I believe, out of Valdez, Alaska. It's so much fun to go on those mini cruises and you get to see all the wildlife, which I'm looking for. But when I saw these fishermen, which you'll see a lot of them, and then bringing in their haul where you can see, that's where my focus was, of course, is that net with all the fish.
Yeah, it's great.
And it's almost centered, but just a little to the right. So for me, that's what I was going for.
In a
Thank you.
sense of the weight, with the way the boat is.
Yeah. Nice shot, Jack. Very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you, Steve.
Up the river.
River. Okay. I have a feeling I know who made this one. That boat just, the colors are vibrant, and then let alone the homes that are on the shore there, up on the stilts. It's well composed. You've got a little sky, and you've got a lot of trees in the background. I keep looking at the driver. I keep looking at the kid or the guy that's like in front of the boat, but on the land. There's a lot going on here, but it works. I love the framing. You've got the length of the boat is long, so I like that the photo is a little bit. It's got a little bit of negative space in the front, a little bit in the back. Just gives you a sense of motion as well. Maker?
Peter Florsack. It had to be rescored, and it rescored at 21, and it's third place.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
Yeah.
Where's this at, Peter?
It's the Amazon in Colombia.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Very nice.
Thanks.
Blowhole.
Okay. Wow. I don't know. It's just too soft for me. And I know it's hard to capture water like this, especially in bright light. And obviously, this is really bright light there. And even though you might feel like that person is a distraction, it's good to have someone in the frame. And I would like to see a little more depth as well. But otherwise, it's nicely composed, and we got pretty much the height of the water going up. Wondering if that's in Oregon. Who's the maker?
Susie Kane, 18.
Oh, it's
Is that
off of
Hawaii?
Hawaii. It's Hawaii.
Yeah, Hawaii. Okay.
You can tell by that water.
The fact that you can actually catch one of these in Hawaii is something in itself.
Is that the one that's on near Sandy Beach on Oahu?
No, this is Kauai.
Kauai.
Oh, okay. Because they have one that's just like that on Oahu.
It's outside of Kauai.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huge Lincoln.
Somebody's got talking going on. Mute your microphone.
Hold on, let me see if that's, I don't think that's my house, but I can find out.
LJ.
I think, I like a couple of things about this image. I like the sense of size and proportion that's given in this image. I think I would like to see a couple more things. I feel like Mr. Lincoln gets lost in the shadow. And the tourists are overexposed. I mean, they look a little overexposed. There's a lot of direct sunlight on them. And then Mr. Lincoln is in shadow. I would like to see that kind of, corrected a little bit. The tourist not so overdone, and then Mr. Lincoln to be brought out of the shadows. I actually like the composition here quite a bit because it gives a sense of size and perspective as to just how massive he is there. It is cropped a little tight, but it would work, I think, honestly, if I could see a little more of Mr. Lincoln. Who's the photographer?
Steve Manchester. It had a rescore of 17.
Very cool image.
The Bellagio.
Bellagio. Okay. I think it definitely gives us a sense of location. Exposure seems to be handled well, except that curvature of the lens throws me off, especially with the people off on the left. Kind of curved a little, you know.
I'm sure that's a fisheye.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. The exposure's handled pretty well, with the exception of, like I said, the top left corner there. It's a little blown, but very nicely handled. Who is the maker?
Myself.
Ah.
And I got a 19 on the first score and the rescore.
Cool.
Good job, Tammy.
And Tammy, you said it was a fisheye lens, right?
Yes.
You know which one?
8mm.
8?
Oh, wow.
Wow, yeah.
Okay, but that's the Las Vegas Strip. That's a good environmental shot. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that day they didn't have the fountains going. It was too windy.
Yeah. Okay, still nice.
Yeah, the characteristic of the lens. I keep looking at that lamp on the right-hand side. I just dig it. Yeah, I just dig the fact it's bent like that.
He tried to remove it when we were cropping. He's like, what do you think about this crop? And I was like, no, I like the curve of that light.
Very cool.
Bighorn Challenge.
He left to go watch a movie. He left to go watch a movie.
Jack, is that yours?
Oh, it's mine? It's mine?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, no, everybody knows I love bighorns, but oh my goodness, they're not really, I don't know, maybe it looks kind of artistic or something. It doesn't look sharp and in focus. The animals' poses are wonderful, of course. And it's nice that you got that almost petrified rock there in the foreground with the greenery and then the mountains in the background. I love all that. It'd be nice if the animals were a little closer, maybe bumping the heads, but they're just about to, maybe. Probably, I think the title indicated that. It looks a little more artistic than what I would normally do. But sometimes that works. Who's the maker?
Holly Emery, and it rescored at 17.
Who was that taken, Holly?
Rocky Mountains.
Trail Ridge Road?
Yep. Up close to the top.
Well, you're lucky to get to see them up there, too.
Yeah, that they weren't laying down.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Sometimes you see them right in the parking lot.
Wow.
I've been to Rocky Mountain twice and missed the bighorn both times I've gone.
They're pretty elusive.
We had only two males and about 3 females.
Every great once in a while, you'll see them at Sheep Lakes, but usually you see the females and the young ones over there.
Yeah, we didn't see that.
Yeah, I just think they're beautiful creatures.
Jesus, that looks like a high point. Did you guys have to hike up there or anything like that?
No. We drove up there. It was snowing. It was June. It was snowing.
Very cool.
Yeah, Robert, that's probably 11, 12,000 feet up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse my language. Thank you for
I get
sharing.
a headache.
This is awesome. Yeah, I can imagine.
Well, I was doing okay where this was, but up at the visitor center, Kenneth had to bring me down 1,000 feet.
Yeah, it's hard to breathe up there, isn't it?
Yeah, I had a,
Up there.
I bet. I had a Dickens of a time in Telluride, man. Yeah, that air was thin. Okay, that might be TMI. Go on.
Can we skip one?
I skipped several. Yeah.
Sunset Pier.
Okay. I like this image. I like the colors in it. I think you get that orange and pink in the clouds against that blue. It's beautiful. I'm guessing this is at sunset. I love the reflections on the water. I wish a little more of the detail came out on that boat, but I like the way this is composed, where somebody has gotten down on that dock And so you have these lines kind of leading you straight into the middle of this picture. I just think it's real fun. Who is the photographer?
John Kane. It scored 19 on both rescore, and then it did an in and out, and it won honorable mention.
Yeah.
Nice job, John. That's really nice.
Yeah,
job.
love the
Love it.
pastels.
Yeah.
That's in New Zealand.
It's gorgeous. Yeah.
What I thought was interesting, I didn't really want to pay too much attention to the boat because it wasn't very interesting. So, but what's really cool is the fact if you look at the dock, there's chain link on top of the dock.
I see that. And is that to keep it from being slippery?
We have no clue. It's just down the road from Franz Josef Glacier, so I'm assuming it's probably there to keep you from falling off in the wintertime.
Yeah, it could be. Well, I just think it adds a nice texture too to the photograph. That's a really interesting texture.
It was kind of neat. I was about a foot off the ground. And right here, yeah, and right here is
down to shoot
what doesn't show up in the sky is the cloud of sandflies.
Is the what?
One thing that New Zealand is well known for are sandflies. They're about the size of a gnat, and they will leave a welt on you bigger than a mosquito, and they hurt. They are biting flies, and they hurt real bad.
That does not sound like fun, John.
But it's worth it.
It's worth it. It's a very expensive picture.
I'm glad you guys got to go.
Yeah.
Canyon Lake Sunset.
All right. It's a gorgeous sunset. I love the sky with the clouds and the sun behind them. The reflection of the sun coming off the water. You don't have anything blown out on the water. That is great. And looks like we did a little bit of post-processing there, and I love the look he gave on the land and the homes. It's a very somewhat muted photo. Nice composition. The colors look balanced. I really like this. Maker, please.
Alan Skiles, 22nd place.
Nice.
Crystal Ball Reflection.
Hey, Trish, you'll have to talk to that one.
Pardon?
Would you go for this one?
Sure. I like this photograph because I think that you kind of get to see what it's like to use one of those spheres where I think you shoot through the sphere, or maybe just the reflection off the sphere. I'm not sure. I would have liked to see a little less darkness in this bottom right corner. It looks like there might be some bluebonnets in the front of that. And the trees, I like how you get that sense of curvature in the trees, and you have some sense of the sky. I know you can't control the sky. I would have liked a little more cloud there, but we don't get to put in an order for anything like that. I think it's an interesting photograph. Who is the photographer?
Jack Smith, 17. Look, it's me.
All right. First of all, everybody excuse me from stepping out every so often. I check on mom, so bear with me. The photo. Love the color selection on the reflection, and the background and everything else is black and white.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful reflection of a city skyscape there. People, I love people in my photos. Gives it a sense of place and scale once again. And what astounds me a little bit on that reflection is I think that is a Ferris wheel back there on that reflection. It is handled very nicely. Who is the maker?
Peter Florsack, 23, first place.
Nicely done. And is that a Ferris wheel?
It is a Ferris wheel. It's Chicago,
okay.
Lake Michigan, and it's colder than hell, but no snow once again.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
Pete, I love this photograph from the second it flashed before my eyes, because I think you're taking the rest and making that black and white. First off, that's already going to make this pop. but I think it really brought out, for me anyway, the shininess, the true reflection in that center part. I just think it's really visually interesting. I mean, it really grabbed my attention.
Well, thank you, Trish. I would have liked to have gotten myself a little more not in line with all the with all that grass. There was a really annoying couple taking pictures of and they just wouldn't get out of the way. It was so cold. I had to get out. I just couldn't wait anymore, but still.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Thanks.
And you know, I could not tell that was you. I knew from the photograph it was you, but I could not tell that was you in the reflection.
Well, I've got my camera up, right?
Yeah, there is that. Just, you know, well, there's that little warp. Your legs aren't quite that warped, I think. Either.
Kind of bend backwards in the knee area.
Not that
Peter,
thin.
where's this reflective thing here in Chicago?
It's Chicago. It's right on the
Yeah, it looks like it's right on the lake.
Lake Michigan. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Maybe
You got
here.
your Patagonia coat on, don't you?
I do. It's and more stuff underneath.
Yeah.
Long underwear.
And I love the way you did the monochrome to make this really pop here.
Yeah,
Reflection.
it really does.
Good job, Peter.
Well, thank you.
Well, you know, the other thing too I like is Pete, is the part that you did black and white. It's almost empty space, and I like that contrast between that, you know, that empty space on the right and all of the stuff that's going on in the color. You get that great big skyline and the Ferris wheel, and there's just a whole lot going on there. And then there's this starkness over to the right. I just, like I said, it's just really compelling.
Thank you.
Reflected umbrellas.
Okay, this was mine, right?
Yes.
Yes, is that Robert? Yeah.
Yeah,
Jack.
Yeah, my first reaction was, wow, that's a pretty cool way you get those umbrellas. Nice color there. It's cropped, different from the ordinary shots that we usually see, because you usually see the full umbrellas and people and all of that. Anyways, it got the nice diagonal, beautiful colors. Nicely done. Who's the photographer?
Steve Manchester, 19, third place.
Good job, Steve.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah.
Nice.
And you know what's neat, Steve? I love, as Jack said, you didn't get all the rest of the stuff, but I knew exactly where that was, which is great. You still have second place. I think
Yeah,
it's
that was
great.
on purpose. You know?
Yeah, I think it's great.
Casa Rio, we all know that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Casa Rio. Love those colors.
Tiny Dancer.
Who's taking this one?
I'll take it, unless you want to take it, Jack. I don't.
No, Tricia, I just went.
Oh, okay, okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I love the story of this image. I love the details and the jewelry, that this is obviously a little jewelry box. And here's this little ballerina. Every girl of my generation probably had one of these. And so there's just this really great story. It's beautifully exposed, I think. I love the detail in the chain and all of the little pearls. I love that they're kind of soft around her feet, but you see they're really pretty solid in the mirror. I was really taken by this image, and that blue background and everything else is pretty simple and kind of pure. Striking image as well. This is one of my favorites of the night too. Who is the photographer?
Myself, 21 in second place.
Very nice.
I love this, Tammy.
Thank you.
Definitely great. Yeah, great title for it. Awesome.
Blue
Okay.
skies up above.
Yeah, definitely got that reflection going of the landscape, the sky. Very, very, very well handled. Don't know if this is a little bit of a slower shutter because I can't tell if the clouds are a little blurred. It works. I like. You're almost at the mid-level with from where the lake meets the land. You've got great colors, and looks like to be the middle of the day. Very well handled. Who is the maker?
John Kane, 19, honorable mention.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
it was slow shutter.
It is a slow shutter?
I used the shutter to smooth the water a little bit.
Nicely done. It
Yeah,
worked.
I agree. I
And
think
it was
makes
the
those
middle of
spots
the
pop.
day.
Yeah, it was like the middle of the day. It was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So
You can tell you handled it well, and you didn't. Your shutter wasn't slow enough to like get rid of the ripples, which is great. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Oh, John, one thing
ISO,
though,
like
you-
ISO 100 in about, I don't know, F8 or something like that, or F4.
Okay.
F4, I guess, and shutter
That's
speed
nice.
was 1/8 of a
John,
second.
one thing I wanted to notice though, you've got some dust spots there in the sky.
I thought I got, hey, it's dust
Yeah, it
spots. are
reminds me
fine.
of when I bought my D70. I thought there was something wrong with the camera.
Hey, dust spots are my souvenirs from New Zealand.
Okay. Okay.
See, I always buy a pair of earrings wherever I go. I really should collect dust spots.
I see
She
one
ain't
right
taking those
there.
things out.
That's great.
What a bunch of characters.
Right?
That's all, folks.
That's it?
That's it.
That's it.
That it?
Nice.
Wow, nice job, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks to the
Great image,
judges.
everybody.
So unfortunately,
You
we
couldn't-
made LJ's.
Very nicely done.
You couldn't see me, but I've been here the whole time.
All right.
Yeah, nice to have you here, Dick.
Now we can see you.
Definitely.
Hi, Dick.
Maybe someday I'll
There you
figure
are.
out
Now
how to
I
make
see you.
camera work.
I can see you.
Okay, I have.
Oh, there's Dick. Hey, Dick.
Hey,
I can see you.
Yeah, it's nice. I can see him too.
Wait, there's two Dicks. There's a. Sorry.
I don't
Sorry
know
for
what's
the
going
fun.
on.
I can. Oh, that's a still photograph?
Should we see
What
Mama?
are you doing?
Hi, Pops.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Hey, I have a suggestion.
Okay.
I want to go back to having pictures submitted by Friday before the meeting instead of Monday before the meeting.
Yeah, good
The
idea.
reason being is because we had a lot of pictures that were forgotten, including mine, including Alan's, Ken's, Holly's, and LJ's. LJ's did not make it in here either.
And we didn't find it out last night.
And we didn't find it out last night because I thought you said you got his pictures.
I thought I did.
So,
Well, and I don't
They're on
know.
the website.
They're on the website, like everybody else's are on the website. So there's a problem with your email or
Okay,
something.
and
I don't know what it is.
Okay. And you had also talked about last night giving me access to download directly.
There is a way to do that, yes. But I don't know if we want to do that or not. We've got to get this email thing fixed. Because it's been working for as long as I've been part of the club, or ever since Peter set it up. So why it's not working now, I don't know.
I don't either. That's why I'm stuck because I don't put on filters.
So I don't know if there's something with your email address or your Gmail account or what.
Yeah, and I don't know either at this point.
Okay. That's why I'm saying we need to go back to submitting them early so we can have time to look and make sure they're all there.
Good. I think that's a great idea.
Yes.
So at what point did you want to have them entered by, John? I missed that first part.
The
You
Friday
want to go have them
before.
entered by when?
Right now, they're due on Monday. I want them due on Friday, the weekend before.
Okay. So almost the whole week before. Okay.
Well, we used to do it on Thursday. I'm letting
No,
you
that's
have
fine.
it.
Yeah, I just
I'm
want to make
letting you
sure. I
go to
understand.
Friday. So
Okay.
that's going to make it easier to make sure we get everybody's pictures involved. I mean, we've had all these different issues before, but
Like right
Just getting
now,
lost.
June 18th should be our competition. That's the third Thursday. So have them in by the 12th.
I'll
Yes.
put that on the website.
Yes.
While I've got everybody here, I have a question or a favor. I have a relative who has a fairly inexpensive Canon camera with a kit lens. And I'd like to get her like an 18-200 or an 18-250. I know when I had my Pentax, I bought one right away and then eventually moved up to a better lens. Does anyone have one of those lenses that they'd like to sell? It's quiet from everybody.
I
Okay.
have no Canon gear.
Yeah, so long Canon gear about 6 months ago, yeah.
Yeah. No, neither do I. So, okay, thank you.
Okay, can we let Alan show us those 2 pictures so we can see what he did in post-processing?
Yeah, I think that's great. You up for that, Alan?
Can you see that one?
Yeah, see there? Look at those eyes for one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like what you did with the beard as well. And the skin tone, the whole deal. Great
Yeah,
job.
the muted colors make it really pop.
Yeah, when I did some research on pictures of people in cold areas, they always seem to have tight, soft skin in a way, because I don't know if the cold does that. So that's why I kind of went that route with him. Plus, I didn't want anything with the skin to be distracting, because I like the beard, the red shroud, and his hat were really the key pieces.
Eyebrows. The eyebrows were really good too.
And the original is not bad. It's just, wow, what you've done to enhance it is amazing. Really good. Especially those eyes. I love the eyes that way and the beard.
Yeah. Well, and you brought out highlights on that cloak too. I mean, if you look at the original compared to the second one, you have those highlights on all the folds, and I think it just really brings out the texture of it.
Yeah, I really wanted to highlight that layering effect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, one day I'm going to sit down next to you, Alan, while you do that. You can show me. I don't know anything about editing. That's a real super weak spot.
Yeah.
The color really pops on the original, but then you've also got the background is a little bit more of a distraction as well.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad. It's really out of focus nicely.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the original photograph is pretty great by itself, but I think you've just done enough to give it just a whole lot of oomph, and it just really.
It's got the right depth of field. So he's been focused, but nothing else is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's almost
maybe
like
Alan could give us a tutorial sometime.
Yeah.
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 It's almost like you applied some sort of cold preset. You know, you can apply cinematic cold presets they apply them to videos and stuff in the movies to make, you're shooting in the desert, but they're trying to make it look cold, you know.
Right.
That's what it reminded me of. So.
Yeah, I just think it looks great.
Okay.
Nice job, Alan.
Thank you.
Very good. Next meeting is education night, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Which is June the 4th.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I'm your education.
And what are you doing?
I am going to give a talk. I am going to give a talk on fireworks. Now, I know we're probably not going to have any fireworks to shoot this year. But, I mean, Six Flags, I think Fiesta, Texas may still shoot some off. They're not going to be doing any downtown. But they can also do in your backyard, out in your driveway, and in the street. And that's also, I gave this talk to Capture San Antonio last year. I have since modified it and added to it. I'm also going to give you a little bit of demonstration on how to edit fireworks and how to combine fireworks into pictures to make composites, which is very, very simple. Everybody thinks it's real hard, but it takes about, I don't know, 10 seconds, if that long. So we're going to do that. It's going to be very interesting, I hope. Hopefully you'll get something. And at the very end, I added about 5 or 6 slides of actually taking fireworks that you set off yourself. Every year I go over to, I haven't gone out and shot a firework display in quite a while. I go to the kids' house and I watch the grandkids set fireworks and sparklers and all that kind of stuff off in the street. And I take pictures of it. And it's in knowing on how to do it. And everybody thinks you need some high ISO. No, I can tell you right now, I'm shooting at high ISO of 160. Okay, so I am using a very fast lens. I shoot with a 35 millimeter 1.4, and I get close. So basically, you shoot the crop. So anyway, we'll talk about that on June the 4th for anybody that's interested in shooting fireworks or in and around the 4th of July.
But John, if you'll write up a little paragraph as to what you're going to do, I'll put it up on the website and you can put it up on Facebook.
Yeah, I've already started writing it up. I just haven't finished it yet.
Okay, you got time yet. 2 weeks.
Yeah. So, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Anybody got anything else?
Trish and John, you seem to be disappointed with the survey. I think I saw that only 5 people or something.
I'm not disappointed with the survey. I'm still trying to figure out how to handle the survey. The survey, everybody wants to see lighting, okay? And I'm not too sure how we can do that with Zoom.
Yeah, that's
My idea with lighting was to have somebody bring in some lights. And I know Robert's got some. I was going to talk to Carrie. Maybe she could come and do something. But bring some in. People bring their cameras, and we do some shooting in the club room and test some lighting and learn that way. Capture San Antonio had, what was the guy's name, Alan?
Guy T? You mean the recent one, or?
Yeah, Guy T, the one that talked about the lighting thing. Yeah, he gave a talk on lighting, and he actually did a really good job online on a Zoom content. I have been trying to get a hold of his slides to see if we could use those or get him to come to us on Zoom and talk to us about lighting as well. So that's the number one. The rest of them are all software: Photoshop, Lightroom, any kind of editing software. We got ON1, we've got Luminar, we've got what's that new one, Peter? Skylum?
Affinity Pro or something like that.
Yeah, that's like that thing is slick.
The sky replacement of that is nothing short of magical. I've been trying to replace skies for
you just go through, pick your picture and say, I want to change the sky.
And it does
change the sky and then pick a sky.
Yeah.
Any sky.
And if you've got a tower there, it puts the sky in between it. If you've got trees there, it puts the sky in between all the branches. There's no fringing. It's perfect.
And
right?
so far,
maybe it's not 100% art, but it is so good. You have to zoom in so close to be able to see.
Yeah, that's the only way to tell the difference is zooming in, and you have to zoom in a lot.
What's the name of that software?
It's Luminar 4.
Luminar 4. Right?
Luminar 4.
Luminar
4.
And it's I forgot what it's like, $50 or something like that.
Yeah, I'd won it in a contest, so.
Yeah. So I mean, the Photo Essay
They're
was
on
giving a
YouTube.
bunch away.
You can find them on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'm guessing everybody here tonight uses some kind of software. Like, there's nobody here that's new to editing, that needs help. We had many members that needed that, but there doesn't seem to be anybody anymore.
We have some members that need that.
You have a lot of people who use Photoshop that don't know how to use it.
Yeah, I have no idea how to use Photoshop.
Amen.
I've been showing Robert what Photoshop will do with his pictures. So, and he wants to learn Photoshop, and I want to teach him, but I can't do it. I mean, we can do it on Zoom, and Peter's probably better at it than I am.
Photoshop is a little bit overkill for most things anyway. Probably 90-95% of everything I do is right in Lightroom, and it just requires a few sliders. Photoshop is great if you want to take out a fire plug, or you want to replace a sky, or you want to do something radical to your picture. But the other software, whether it's Luminar or whether it's ON1 or whether it's Lightroom, they fix up your photographs so incredibly well that you really don't need to go to Photoshop. That is a radical thing to do. The best part about Photoshop is that it does layers. Of course, so does On1. And, that's a whole nother subject. But in terms of getting a great photograph and cropping it and lightening it and setting a vignette and sharpening it, Lightroom and Luminar and On1 do an incredible job. And really, it's all most photographers would need.
Yeah, Peter and I fight over Lightroom because I like On1. I think it's better than Lightroom, but he says no.
Well, I recommend On1 to a lot of people because it's so cheap. For $50, you get Lightroom and Photoshop all in one program.
Well, so is On1. It costs exactly the same.
That's what I meant. I said it wrong. On1 is $50, so I recommend it to a lot of people because it's so cheap. I prefer Lightroom and Photoshop just because I'm really into it, and most professionals, that's what they use. And so I'm comfortable doing it, and the overhead of learning a whole new program is more than I really want to do, but On1 does everything.
Well, I switched to On1 because I did not want to pay the cloud cost. And I paid the $50. I got On1, and then I decided to go ahead and do the On1 Plus, which is another $50. And so it's like 100 and something a year, but I get all my upgrades for free. Well, it's just like Lightroom and Photoshop, and On1 is just like Lightroom and Photoshop combined into one program.
Right.
It just has a very steep learning curve.
Yes.
I think the learning curve was that bad. I switched over to that from Photoshop Pro, and I haven't had that much of a hard time with it.
Oh, no, but I don't know how far into it you are. There's a lot of stuff in On1 that you don't.
Yeah, and I may not be touching
normally
the
use.
depth of it. Like we were doing something and added some clouds. That's something I could do in PaintShop Pro, but this is all built in, and here's all these clouds for you.
Yeah, but then you have to, again, there you're getting into the tool stuff. And you have to do all this. If you're trying to put clouds in behind trees and all this other stuff, I'll tell you right now, On1 is not it's not the program to use for sky replacement. It is too complicated.
Luminar 4 is
my first
phenomenal.
sky replacement and On1 took me 3 days. Okay, because you have to go through with the chisel tool and clean up all the artifacts and all the stuff that's around the picture, so you don't get arbitration, you don't get all this other stuff. It's a pain. I mean, I find Photoshop easier. I actually don't use Photoshop. I still use Photoshop Elements 15. And I just worked on something for Robert in Photoshop Elements 15 the other day and fixed up one of his pictures. I didn't fix it up. I created something for him that I want him to try to create himself.
Yeah, I'm still using Photoshop Elements. It's basic, but it seems to do most everything I need anyway. Yeah. Robert, nobody got we never replaced educational chairperson, correct?
Correct.
So nobody's really in charge of figuring out about the survey and how to proceed with our educational meetings.
Surveys on the website, but really we're talking to each other, figuring out, okay, who wants to do what, or what does the group want? Just like the survey.
The survey's there, but we have not had time to discuss it. Okay, as to what we do. I put it out there just to find out, what do you guys want to learn? Because everybody has different ideas, and you throw out all this stuff. So I gave you 8 or 9 ideas, and so far 6 of you responded.
Yeah, that's the problem with people. All of us would love to get better at photo editing, but as you can see from the talk we're having, everybody's using something different, or combinations of editing software. So it's very hard to come up with a program that cross over to all 4 or 5 editing programs.
I think with editing, the concepts of dodging and burning and some of those things carry across all platforms.
Yes.
Some just the way you go about it may be a little different based off the tools of the software, but I think the concepts of how to manipulate the photo to be what you want, I think it can be taught in a way to have it carry across.
Yeah, like I would watch Photoshop tutorials and then turn around and do those in PaintShop Pro. Adjustment layer is still an adjustment layer. All the blending modes are the same, and what works for one works for the other. You just have to get there.
Well, I've been thinking about swinging over to Luminar 4. I had 3 for a while, but it messed me up. And 4, I understand it improved the layers, which was a big problem that I had in 3.
They have.
4 is supposed to, Luminar 4 is supposed to improve their layer.
Well, I want a 90-day trial period, so I haven't even bought it yet. I'm still on my, I'm on like 45 days. And basically all I'm really using it for is sky replacement and sun flares. And it just does an incredible job. It does a perfect job. And so it's worth the money just for that. Yes, it does layers and all those things. I also have Photoshop, so I don't really want to learn a whole nother thing and do it. But I hear good things about
I'm going to have to cut out, guys.
I mean, we can teach
Dick
you.
is saying goodbye.
Oh, goodbye, Dick.
Dick,
Thanks
Good
for
night,
being
Dick.
here.
Take care of yourself.
nice to almost see you, but to hear you.
I'm thinking of you.
Take care of
It's
yourself.
great seeing all of you and
Good
seeing
seeing
all the
you.
images.
Yeah.
But
Stay safe,
I'm
Dick.
really starting to drag now, so I got to run.
Okay.
Take care.
Good night.
Good night, Dick.
Night, Dick.
I mean, the whole idea behind learning these different software is we can teach you the basics like Alan's talking about. I mean, exposure compensation, white balance, dodging, burning, layers, doing this other kind of stuff. But the fancy stuff that you can do with Photoshop and Lightroom and On1 and any of this other stuff, watch YouTube. That's all I can tell you. That's how I'm learning right now is I am watching YouTube. I
Me
watch
too.
probably 2 to 3 videos a day on nothing but Photoshop and Lightroom to try to learn it.
Well, Skylum.
No, there's a couple of people out there that are really good at it, and one of them is the lady from Adobe. I can't think of her name right now, but she has an entire course that is free that takes you from step 1 through step 9,999 on Lightroom. It is a wonderful course. So that's all I can tell you. I can set up some links. We give some stuff for Peter to put on the website to go look at and check out.
Cool.
There's lots of free stuff out there.
Lots of free stuff.
And I know some of you mentioned that Nikon has free stuff out there, and I've been watching. You might find this really interesting. They're interviewing these professional photographers, these National Geographic people that have been doing it for 30, 40 years, and they're calling it My Defining Images, and they're asking them to select only about 5 images to describe how they got them, why they liked them, how difficult it was, blah, blah, blah. It's been rather fascinating. The only problem is it's generally 50 minutes to almost an hour. So it's really, really, really fascinating to see their images.
Especially that one with the crocodile and the fish. Did you see that last image with Miguel, whatever his name is?
Oh my gosh, yes, the underwater stuff. So I was asking Sally, can I buy a housing? No. I don't have the money for it anyway, but yeah.
I don't look at other people's photography because it makes me embarrassed.
No,
Okay, because there's no way You know, they want me to compete in all these stupid contests, and I'm looking at images and I'm going, I can't do that. I can't.
Yes,
I don't
yes,
go to
you
this
can.
place and all. I mean, they get all these. Now I know a lot of the stuff that they submit are not. I mean, look at. I haven't been in it for a while. What's that other thing? What's that thing we've been in, Peter?
Oh, the photo crowd.
Yeah, Photo Crowd, and the other one is Guru Shots.
Photo Guru. Yeah, Guru Shots.
If you go into Guru Shots, you go into Guru Shots, and you start looking at some of the images these people submit. You're going, there's no way I can compete with that. So I don't submit anymore. I don't join anymore. I haven't done either in any one of those for a while now, because my stuff's just not out there.
Yeah, but that's the only way you get better. I mean, I always keep saying one of the reasons why I got where I was because of the club. Because I would go, I would get the competition, I would listen to the results that, you know, the comments that people have, and I would go back in the next month and try to be better. You know, so over the years, I think am I professional? No, I'm not professional, but because of the club and because of the competing in the comments, I was able to get better. That's what I like about Photo Crowd. I like to see, I'll think it's a good image, but, you know, sometimes it just doesn't score well. And you got to think, well, you know, what can I do to improve it? What can I do to make it better? And so I'll go back and do that and try to submit another image. You know, am I ever going to be number one? No, but I can at least become a better photographer.
Yep.
But John, what I was saying earlier when I was talking about some of our images tonight, what I've learned by watching these professional photographers and showing their images is some of them I go like, are you kidding me? That's what you picked out of your top 5 or something you want to talk about? For me personally, it didn't move me. It didn't look like what I thought it should look like. So that's what I'm trying to say to you. But also, I'm learning that its subject matter is very, very important, and not always technical ability makes it.
Yes.
A lot of stuff that's gotten in magazines and periodicals have been like not in focus and not composed well, or bad lighting and blah, 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 but the impact of the image does it. So now that made me feel a little better. Like, I suggested on the survey, I know you told us, John, you only want to see 3 things checked off, our top 3, and I did that. But then I saw that you had at the bottom, you could recommend something. So I recommended like travel. I don't know if any of the rest of you are interested, but I would love to see if other people have traveled and where they've gone and what they did, and kind of like my defining images.
Well, I think that's one of the reasons. The hardest part we had with travel was setting up the requirements for it, because a lot of us that do travel do get real travel pictures. For those people that don't travel or go outside of San Antonio or outside of Texas, what is travel? So we define travel as out
education night.
Yeah, we decided to do outside of San Antonio. We can do a travel education night and talk about the different places that I have been, Peter's been, you have been, anybody else. I know that, you know, because Steve goes to Paris all the time. We could have a talk about travel and the pictures we take and why we took them.
That's my suggestion.
So
I don't know how many of you are interested, but
I know I saw that, but I hadn't done anything with it because I really forgot. So,
but nobody right now is organizing any of this educational night. John just stepped up and said, I'll do this one next time. Right?
Correct.
Well, and unfortunately, yeah, I've been the one stepping up that set all this stuff up.
I know.
And I'm getting tired of being the one, because never mind. It's going crazy. I mean, being around to run this thing is fun. But it's also a pain in the butt, especially because they're just now coming out. I don't know if anybody you know it, but Zoom just came out with another security update. And as of the end of May 31st, anybody that has Zoom on their computer has to go get the new update.
Or you got to pay more money, or
will
what?
Not work.
There's no extra money. You just have to be version 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's version
That's
5,
what's
and I think it's up to 5.12 now or something like that.
Yeah, I wonder what additional things come with 5.1. It's sort of like the new Apple update. It does all kinds of stuff I don't want it to do. So I'm not downloading it, but.
Well, that's been the hardest part. The hardest part with running this thing is the new security. And it's like every time I log into this, I have to go in and physically turn on the share screen, turn on, let's see, what's the other one? Share screen. I have to turn on chat.
The waiting
I have to put it, there's a waiting room you have to go into. I can't, and it's kind of crazy. Don't have to have the password anymore as long as you use the link. If you don't use the link, you have to have the password.
I've got to run, guys. So
Okay,
y'all
Eric,
have a good
that's okay.
night.
Yeah.
Hi,
Y'all
Eric.
take care.
Hi, Eric.
Take care, buddy.
Eric.
How's your wife? Hey, Eric, how's your wife doing?
No, it's my mom.
Oh, your mom. I'm sorry.
Yeah, my mom's still in the ICU. Still kind of not with it. We're hoping that her brain activity will, she's got her eyes open, but with so many meds that she was on and being septic, it was really touch and go.
Yeah.
But she's making small improvements. Kidney function returned today. Liver function's up. So little baby steps. So anyway, thank you
Well,
guys.
my best
Keep
to
us
you.
posted.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye,
Appreciate it,
Eric.
guys.
Thanks, Eric.
Bye now.
Bye-bye, guys.
Nice.
Night.
Molly.
I'm gonna roll too. My battery's about to go. Night,
Well,
guys.
look, who just joined? Somebody just joined. Who just joined?
Neil.
Williams.
Neil did.
You're a day late and a dollar short.
But I bet he has a good pun. Night, kids.
Yeah.
Good night.
Night, Trace.
Hey,
Talk to y'all later.
John?
So let's see what Neil's up to.
Yeah, Neil is there. Neil, you there?
He's connecting to audio, it says.
He's still connecting.
Hello,
Well,
Neil.
he's going to connect to nothing because I'm not going to be here.
Come on, John. Give Neil a minute.
Well, Dick is still connected.
Yeah.
I think Microsoft just come out with a new Zoom-like program coming out.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
No, they're trying to compete with Zoom.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I saw that.
The tough part is learning something else. It's like we're talking about, there might be better programs than Lightroom, but Jesus, I've got so much time invested in Lightroom. I'm not really that interested in transferring over to something else.
Yeah.
Zoom is the same way. I'm sure I see people using, webcam and Google has another one. Geez, it just takes forever to learn this stuff.
Yeah, just stick with one thing and get better at that one thing instead of
well,
trying
that's
5 different things.
I mean, we tried 3 before we got to this one, and we
Yes,
got
we did.
this one to work. So we said we're sticking with it.
It worked.
Yeah.
And we paid for it.
And we had 16 people on tonight. That's the most we've had on in a while.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty good.
Hey guys, keep in mind, hopefully if Lions Field opens up, if you guys still want to participate in that, us putting up those photos up on their walls, I would love for us to participate. So.
Oh, for September?
Yes.
That's September, right?
Yeah.
September, yes, sir. I am willing to pick up photos from you guys and take them in there myself. As many as you want. They just ask for them to be framed and matted, kind of like an exhibition. So let me know if you want me to pick up anything, and I will deliver to them once they open.
Do they need to be a certain size?
They did not give me a limitation, so pretty much as big or as small as you'd like. I mean, we don't want a whole wall, of one photo, but I think last year, was it a few years ago, I entered something like a 20 by, maybe, I don't know, 26 by 34, I can't remember, something pretty big. But like I said, anything around those lines would be okay.
Are they having a competition themselves, or what's?
No, it is in conjunction with Photo Septiembre, Photo September. and they'd like to participate typically as well, you know. So, and they hang them up there for at least a month or two for viewing. And in the past, we are allowed to leave a card there in case you're interested in selling the print. I've not inquired about that this year, but I will. So that way I can let you know.
Okay.
Yeah, we were allowed to do it the last time we did it. You could put a price on it if you want, or you could give a phone number and have them contact.
Yeah.
Did anybody actually sell anything though? Does anybody know?
I don't think anybody put a price or we're selling the images when we tried it out.
No?
Uh-uh.
I thought a couple of us did.
I know somebody inquired, but mine were not for sale. I wound up putting NSF on them.
Right.
So, but yeah, and to my knowledge, I don't think anybody sold anything or was intending to sell. I don't know. So, but yeah, if you guys are interested, let me know.
Well, keep reminding us as it gets closer to September.
Will do. Will do. So.
And if you write me up something, I'll stick it on the website and we can put it up on Facebook. Okay. Or you can put it on Facebook and I'll stick it on the website. Right, whatever you put there, just give me a little paragraph. Or if you do it on Facebook, I can copy it off of Facebook.
That'll work. Okay. I'll get it done. All right. This has been fun, guys. I appreciate seeing you, everybody, and I'm glad everybody's in good health, man.
So far.
Alan, I'm digging the hat, brother.
Thank you. The only reason I'm wearing it is because my hair is so crazy. It's never been this long.
Oh, my God. Look at this. This is ridiculous.
I mean, mine is, it's just, I've never had it this long.
You're so funny, Alan.
I've had a military haircut since I was 16.
Look at Jack.
It may be touching my collar.
I don't know what long he is, buddy.
I don't know.
But
We
Alan,
tried to talk Jack into a
it's too
ponytail
long.
last night.
Alan, it's too long to do anything with, and it's too short that it won't do any, or too long that it won't do anything, and too short that you can't do anything with it.
And I don't own a brush. But Jack, if I had your hair, I would be proud.
Okay, well. Anyway, I love the hat too. You know how much. Look at me back there with the hat on.
Yeah.
This is why I had this on last night, because of the hair.
Yeah, yeah, this was good.
What is it?
Lucha Libre.
Oh, it's upside down. Oh, well. But anyway,
you get the point.
You get the point, yeah.
Robert, jump off the high rope.
I don't think so.
I'd like to photograph that again, Lucha Libre. That was great fun.
Yeah, I want to see if they're going to have it again. Obviously, right now with everything going on, not. But hopefully in the late fall, they might redo it. You know, but that was cool. I'll do it again. Now I've got better lenses than before. So
me too. A little better technique.
There you go. Yeah,
Oh.
we learned a few things since then.
It'd be great fun. That was one of the highlights of my career, going with you and photographing those guys in the back of some industrial building. I mean, it was wow.
Bare bulbs over the ring. Outside the mat, they had this like old beat up carpet, and there's gravel underneath it. So who's landing on there's going to be hurting, man.
Yeah. And then my favorite thing was for intermission, all the little kids ran up onto the arena and were wrestling and throwing each other around.
Oh man,
a real family affair.
Yeah, that was fantastic. It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to do
Hey,
it again.
Peter?
Yes, sir.
With Luminar 4, Skyrim also has their HDR, which is called
Right.
Aurora.
Right. There's an extra charge for that.
Yeah. But from what I've seen of the samples, they do some really weird stuff with it.
Yeah. Yeah. The HDR that I do is I use Nix software, and I like it because it lets me do HDR on one image. I don't have to combine 2 and 3 images.
Yeah.
And it does a great job on that. And then I usually do it as a layer and just set the transparency so that it doesn't have such an effect on the layer below. But when I'm going to do 3, I usually do either Photoshop or Lightroom has a thing.
Well, the only reason I went to Skylum and Luminar was Apple computer.
Well, Apple does Lightroom great.
Other PC, yeah, but originally you couldn't get those to work on Apple computers. You had to get different software. And that was, I'm talking about way back.
Way back. It must be way back. Yeah, because it now always works on, works.
PCs, all I ever had was Elements. And Elements always worked for me. So.
Or you're not going to talk about that.
Well, I still use Photomatic, so for my HDR, I still have an old copy of Photomatic that works really good. Talk about what?
The nature thing.
The nature thing.
Yeah.
Whole controversy last time.
No, she's already gone.
I'm going to sign off for tonight, folks.
Okay. Very nice to see you.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah, everybody have a good night. I am signing off as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
Roberto.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Night, all.
Yeah.
Later.
Oh, later.
Neil never did get on.
No, I still see him up there, but
He's still trying to connect.
He's still trying to connect.